This delicious ratatouille tart is eggless and made with a wonderful soft cheesy filling topped with a variety of different vegetables. Tomatoes, eggplant, plenty of bell peppers, onions and plenty of flavor. Start off first by making the pastry. This is a short crust pastry, all purpose flour or maida, butter. Gently press it all together until breadcrumbs form and then add some ice cold water until the dough comes together. It shouldn't be a very wet dough, but it shouldn't be very dry either. So it's kind of soft. Now wrap it up in plastic and leave it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to develop layers and tender crumb. Now slice your vegetables. Begin with your eggplant. I used a bharta eggplant or an Italian eggplant. Cut it into small pieces, no more than half an inch in size. You're going to need other vegetables too, such as bell peppers. I used yellow and red bell peppers. Again, cut them into small 1/4 inch pieces. All these vegetables have to be cooked separately to prepare a ratatouille. You can use one onion, white or red is fine, whatever you have in the kitchen, but mince it finely. You're also going to need some garlic. Not too much, but just enough to bring flavor to it. I like to use zucchini or courgettes as well. I use green and yellow, but if you can get orange, that's fine too. Again, cut them into 1/4 inch pieces, or a little bigger than that is fine too, because they shrink a little when you cook them as they lose water. This is a tart where the vegetables should be cut immediately cooked, and the tart should be eaten on the same day. The whole point of all these fresh vegetables is to perk up the winter season when everything is kind of dull and dreary, and have a plate full of beautiful vegetables. Now saute your onions in a little bit of olive oil, add a little garlic, now add your vegetables. In ratatouille, traditionally vegetables are all cooked separately because they have different cooking times, and then they are all mixed together. The eggplant will take the longest time to cook. You can add a little salt to it to expedite its cooking. We're not looking at overcooking the vegetables. They need to still be crisp because they'll cook further in the oven. Now make the cheese base. This has in it some shredded cheese. I used Gouda here, some cream cheese, some sour cream, some cream, salt, pepper. Salt very carefully because these cheeses can be salty. And your base is now ready. By this time your pastry will also be ready, but in the meantime just drain your ratatouille vegetables. If there's any excess water in it, you want to remove it. If there's oil, you can use that oil to flavor something else like pasta in another dish. Now, on a clean surface, dust generously with flour and roll out your pastry. Use the baking tray on which you plan to place this as a measure and cut all the excess trim out. You want a nice round circle. You can use the trim to make smaller tarts or tartlets. Now spread the base with some good quality tomato paste. This is important because it brings a lot of flavor to the dish. You want to use paste because it has a very low water content and it will not make the tart soggy. You don't want to use a tomato sauce or a tomato puree. Now put all the cheese base all over the base of the tart. Spread it around. It's almost like working on a painting, and it's so beautiful to look at when you're done. You can spread it leaving about an inch from the outside. Now top it up with all those gorgeous vegetables and slowly using your fingers turn the edges of the tart inwards. You want to create a kind of wall or a barrier that prevents the cheese from heating up and draining out of the tart when it's baking. You will bake at 350 degrees in the lower rung of your oven until the tart is golden brown. Top with fresh basil leaves, fresh parsley, and sliced cherry tomatoes. I cannot even tell you how delicious and fulfilling this tart is, with a nice green salad on the side. Enjoy!